Hi everybody, Ninja Boy here, and today we're going to be looking at this new Deep Purple out. Okay. Take two. Oh my god, can that dog shut up? Hi everybody, Ninja Boy here, and today we're going to be looking at this new Deep Purple album, SPLAT. This is the 24th, I think, studio release of Deep Purple, and their first, heavy metal release in over 33 years, I think. And this is also my first experience with Deep Purple, aside from listening to Smoking the Water 1,000 times. I am going to be heading to a Deep Purple concert at some point during this summer break. So I had to listen to this album. I could not procrastinate on its release. And also, if you hear birds and cars and whatnot, I am doing this outside. Because why not? Yeah, pretty chaotic afternoon here at New York. Let's get on to the track listing and track ratings. Here is the track ratings and track listings. I'm going to say Guilt Trippin' is my favorite song, and My New Movie is, I'd say, probably the worst off this album. However, as you can see, we got a pretty mediocre track listing. So being the worst or being the best or being the worst is not much of a high bar to set. I'm going to start off with the good off this album. I do really like the 70s feel that it has with its keyboard and its guitar solos. They do fit pretty well, and they do a pretty good job at taking turns being the star of the show, whether it's keyboard solos, guitar solos, and whatnot. I do think Ian Gillan's, I think I butchered that name, I'm sorry. I think his vocals are actually rather decent for the age that he is in. And his vocals do fit the songs rather well, so good production here, I will say. There isn't a bad song off this album, I'd say. However, like I said, we got a pretty mediocre track listing overall. Not bad, not good, just mediocre. And it also has a rather weak finish, as the last three tracks are not the greatest compared to the other 10. And you also could tell that the record label basically forced them to make this album. Like, the five current members of Deep Purple sounded like, they felt like your old uncles, trying to make a new album. Did we really have to do this? We get that you guys need to make some money, and us making a new album makes us money too, but it's already been 2 years since our last album. Can we just have some say onto when we like to make new music? Like at that point, just have your own record label like Metallica does, and have your fans wait 85 years to release a new album. But my biggest problem with this album, it has to be the lyrics. The lyrics just mean nothing half the time, with the exception of songs like Arrogant Boy and Lunatic. The lyrics just mean nothing. Whoever did the lyrics, the lyrical writing, or whoever was the lyricist for this album did a really terrible job. Half the lyrics just mean nothing. At least half the lyrics just mean absolutely nothing. So yeah, the lyrics were terrible off this album. I will say that this album isn't terrible. I will say that the good and the bad do weigh each other out. They are pretty equal. Bonus points for it being, the first heavy metal release that they've had since 1993 However, I am going off of Album of the Year, and their last album to be labeled as heavy metal, at least for like a secondary genre, was in 1993. For your first experience for Deep Purple, this isn't like your greatest choice for like your first experience. Definitely like their early 70s stuff is like their best stuff to have your first experience. Or maybe just listen to Smoke in the Water like 1,000 times or whatnot. I feel like I'm gonna go with a decent 5 off this album. Decent 5 for Splat. So, if you have any recommendations for albums and EPs, maybe I might take a look at it. Maybe I might do a review on it. Comment down below what would you like me to review. Make sure you like, subscribe, send this video to a friend, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.